What's good?
Got another special guest for you, champ.
A word? Who is it?
I be seeing what she doing on the gram, I can't get too involved. If I keep fucking with these girls, I swear I'm gonna end up losing it all. So why can't I make up my mind? Running around all the time, the thoughts never seem to align. Please tell me what's been going on.
What's going on? My name is Playd3ad. I'm an artist, producer, songwriter, all around visionary, just trying to get my word out there. I want people to relate to what I got going on.
Yeah, how you feeling, like physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, wherever you feel, you feel like sharing, let us know how you doing.
Yeah, emotionally, I think I'm doing all right. Like, definitely tackling the ups and downs, because at the end of the day, like, energy is like a wave, and it's gonna go up and down and up and down. And at the end of the day, it's like how you stay in pocket of all those things, which is the most important thing. Because everyone's gonna feel their ups, everyone's gonna feel their downs. It kind of happens. It's just how you get through it at the end of the day. Physically, I guess I'll say I'm doing pretty good. Like, I feel like I could always do more physically. Like, I've been hitting the gym and shit, so that's what's up. I've been going for like a week in a row, just trying to get my workouts in. But again, like, what people don't talk about enough is how like important working out and staying physically in shape is good for your mental health instead of like how you actually look. Because when you go to the gym and you come out of it, like, you definitely feel better mentally.
Yeah,
it's really important.
sure.
And I've always had like issues dealing with the way that I look, especially physically, like my body weight and stuff. Like, people have always like bullied me and stuff for like my weight, and everything. So I felt always pressured to go into the gym and work out and look a certain way, but I realized that that's not what it's really all about. Like, you just have to love who you are for who you are. And even if I get to that point where I want to be, where like I get in shape or whatever, and that might not like solve all my problems that I thought it would. So it's really about like loving who you are for who you are. And I've been like on that journey of finding that out. But now that I don't feel pressured to going into the gym to lose weight and stuff, I'm just going and feeling good, and like my mental health has been increasingly better as a result of that. So that's what's up.
That's a good outlook. That's a good mindset to have, especially in a very, adversity-esque predicament that you had to go through. You trying to persevere and take it a day at a time, because that's kind of how consistency is established. One day at a time. So yeah, that's you make time for what you want. So you put the passion and effort into whatever you feel like you want to make for yourself.
Yeah, nothing happens overnight. We just take it one day at a time, and like small goals turn into that large accomplishment that you're seeking out. But it's really about the journey. It's really important. There's no accomplishment without the journey.
Give a little insight just on like the inspiration or like meaning behind the name Playd3ad. Yeah, I feel like that's just such a distinct yet like mysteriously artistic way to broadcast yourself. And I feel like it also the name alone projects itself in the aesthetic and motif of your music. So just give a little insight on.
Well, funny enough, like when I first made the name, like I kind of just thought it sounded cool, and I asked like a mentor of mine, Trevor from Raw Studios, about what he thought of the name. He said, yeah, it sounded dope. And then like as the years went on, like of the music creation, just like learning about myself, like the name made sense, and it kind of formed on its own. And like nowadays, I feel like it means like it stems from a place where like I felt like I didn't want to be seen. I always felt hurt like by how people made me feel, and I felt like the only way to cope with that is to pretend that I'm not even there, just like not be in the picture. But nowadays I use it as something more like liberating, as like something like we all feel, like a lot of people feel that way. Everyone who feels that way, we can come together and like help each other feel better about ourselves. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that feel like me, like people that just feel weird, outcasted from society, and like we all have a voice at the end of the day, and we get to get together and help each other out, you know. And I want people to relate to that feeling. That's kind of what it's been meaning to me right now. But you know, the name was very flexible in a way, like, you know, changing. Like, it's never this one set thing. It can mean a lot of things, and that's what I think it means. That's what I think it means right now, at least.
It's a confidential community that you're building. So, and that world building is doing, I'm pretty sure it's doing a lot of people that, you know, felt like that type of outcast justice, you know. I was attuned to this type of release or expression of, you know, art that you are showing as yourself, you know. I like the commendable storytelling. That shit is like underrated, you know, skill in itself to have as an artist. You can have a good beat, but if an artist is equipped enough to, you know, flow on it, put across their, you know, prowess on it to add the cherry on the top, it makes things, you know, it makes it a lot more satisfying to, you know, hear. Yeah, I feel like you're definitely a great storyteller in your music.
I mean, I agree. Like, I feel like the most important thing for me and like writing music and all that is like, obviously you want it to sound good, but I think it has to come from a place of like honesty, being real with yourself. The most honest music is going to resonate with most people because they're going to hear you and like it's going to open up something in their heart and they're going to find something to relate to through my story and then apply it to theirs.
Just going back to the storytelling perspective or like element that I feel like I'm getting from it, you definitely like showcase in a colorful sense, you know, whatever expression is carrying that song, or like I feel like each song is kind of like a journal log of just how you've been feeling, or at least how you felt in the process of making that song specifically. I don't know if you would agree, but like I feel like you flow better in your element, or like it, to me it comes off like you're in your zone when you're vividly expressing that you're like not okay, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I also want people to like to know that it's okay to not be okay. Like nothing is ever going to be like 100% how you envision it, and it's just something that we all experience and go through. And like it's okay to feel that. You just have to accept it and work through it and keep going. So.
Yeah, you use your vulnerability as like your armor in a sense, and that's like I'm definitely like gravitated towards that.
Yeah, no matter what people tell you, like you should feel okay with wanting to be yourself. You know, we have this life here. You can do whatever you want to do with it, no matter what anyone tells you. They might feel like you should live a certain way, but like at the end of the day, it's your say, you know? So just, you know, be yourself, do what you feel like is right, do what you want to do, and just be yourself. It's okay to be yourself.
In one of your songs, yeah, All Good, you did like mention like I guess one bar, just talking about like taking it back to 2018, like, being a high school dropout. You know, do you feel like at that point in time when you decided to make that move for yourself, you had to like innately become like your own life coach? Like you basically kind of had to just figure shit out from there on your own? Like
100%, because like at that point, like I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm going to college. I don't really see a future in this. It felt like everything just sucked, and like the only thing that really made me feel happy was just like going to be in music. So I definitely had to turn into my own life coach because like, you know, my family and my friends, like none of them really are into the like business of music and like being an artist. So I just felt really ostracized and felt really like left out when I felt like I wanted to be an artist. Because I'm like, why am I not like everyone else around me? So it's definitely a weird stage in my life, but you know, I just pushed through it because I felt like this was for me. And you know, fast forward now, like I have tons of friends who make music and artists and people that care about me and stuff, and like it was the right decision at the end of the day. But yeah, that period, like 2018 and all that, that was a really hard time. But you know, when like, you know, sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself.
Just going back into like this aesthetic of artist that you have. Of course, being an emotionally abstract artist is something that I feel like I'm captivated by in your work, but I feel like that can also be like exhausting. In a way, it makes you like susceptible to like an emotional discharge because you're putting so much, you know, effort and energy into this music. It's therapy, but at the same time, it's like you could tell that it's the work is felt. Every part of the work is felt. Like it's draining in a sense. You feel like that? Like you feel like it comes off as an emotional discharge when you're making such like deeply expressive songs?
Yeah, I could see how like it could feel that way, but at the same time, I also feel like it's an emotional release. I feel like the stress might come from the world caving in on you and the industry caving in on you and making you feel like you have to be a certain thing. Well, all I want to do is just talk about my emotions and myself. So in reality, it turns to like, I always want to talk about how I'm feeling. Like, you know, I have people that care about me and stuff, but like, I don't have like, you need an outlet. Like, I don't really have like a therapist or anything. I just have my music, like my sound and my therapy. So like, I'm always looking forward to talk about how I feel, even like if it is like sad and stuff, because at the end of the day, like throughout my day, like as I'm walking around and existing, like I hold a lot of things in, and when I make the song, it's the only outlet I have to let go in a sense. So I look forward to it, you know, and it never really feels exhausted. I'm always like, the way I look at life, I could just, every time I'm walking around through the day and I just see random things and I see random people, random interactions, it always inspires me to talk about something, and I can always relate it to something that I've been through in a way. So like, there's always something to express. That's how I feel. Like I never really feel like exhausted from creativity or like making music. It actually just like helps me live a better life and gives me like a reason to exist. You know,
It's like an open-minded growth.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm definitely not locked into a perspective of life. That's what I'm really happy about. It's like I'm always changing, flowing every day, and like I take all types of information and like I look at the root of it and see how it could affect me and how like I can live my life differently through the information that people give me, you know. But through my day-to-day experiences also.
Yeah.
Good to be open-minded.
Memento Mori, which I loved, by the way, every part of it. My favorite song, well, before I actually listened to the EP, I already had Pepper Jack Cheese in my playlist. But as a way to motivate myself for like, you know, interviewing, and at the same token, just like trying to, you know, figure out what is Playd3ad about, because I didn't listen to a lot of music. So, and I prefer to listen to, you know, more of the artist's work than just basing his game, like I guess his skill off of just like one song. I guess, you know, that's just like short storytelling. So, but yeah, I ended up listening to the whole EP. It felt like from the start, it was like, I could tell, it seems like you were expressing like, this is where I am, but I feel like I'm lost. And then Mr. Suicide is like, it's something telling me to give in, but like, I don't know if I want to, but I feel like I'm on the brink of doing it, like I'm on thin ice. And then Pepper Jack Cheese is like, I'm still here, but I still feel like how I feel. As we get closer to, and then Alchemy, I could listen to that, like that's a whole hour loop. Wicked Life, that just like, it feels like you finished your journey of soul searching, I guess, throughout the short EP, or you gotten to the point where you've done enough soul searching to be like, to create and manifest this positive perspective. All we got is time, so, you know, like make the most of it and be mindful of, you know, when you're doing good, give yourself props and credit for that, because everything in your life is not bad as it may seem or as it may feel. You know, all the pain isn't as like, you know, I mean, it may feel like, you know, agonizing in the moment, emotionally, mentally, or physically, whatever it may be, but eventually, you know, the pain will pass. You have time to heal. All we got is time. So I like how you did that though. But, you know, going to the, I don't know if I summed it up, but, you know, going to, you know, if you want to go into the process inside out, you know, of how you made that.
No, that was good. That was really, like, I appreciate that a lot. It was definitely like a journey. It was a journey making those songs, like existing and creating those songs, and then that's how it came together. And now the EP feels like a journey. Like it was a journey through my life and what I was going through. Like, it starts with nothing's really new. You know, I talk about how like like what happens when you go through those things that I went through, like living in a broken home, like divorced parents, the whole thing, and like how it's stressful, and like it just feels like this is my life and nothing's really new, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into Mr. Suicide, which is like, you know, that overwhelming feeling like that you just want to give up, just let go, but like in like a more like negative way, like feeling like there's nothing left. But every time the door opens and you see that person that's like, come with me, you know, like we can end it right now. And then like, but there's always that feeling of like, what about tomorrow? Like, what if something happens tomorrow that might change everything? Like that sense of hope that like all humans hold on to. That's like one of the most powerful things that we have, which is like hope that something will get better. And then like, you know, transitions, pepper jack cheese, it's like the honesty. I really needed to feel honest in that moment. You know, I was working on like some other song and like whatever, I was liking it in the studio, and randomly my producer, TMBR, he picked up the guitar and started playing, and I was like, wait, like, so I feel something, like I need to record it, and then that's how it came out, you know. And it was really powerful to me, it was really special to me. It's like, you know, I felt like I didn't have anybody. I felt like no one knew what I was going through around me, but like, sometimes it's just like, it is what it is, like, it happens, like, not everyone is going to truly understand how you feel, and you have to keep going forward. Because it's your life, and you have to do what you have to do. And then alchemy into wicked life is just like that transition feeling where like I still want to let go, and like in a different way. Like I just want to let go of all those feelings that I harbor and believe to be true, because at the end of the day, they're not as true as they may seem. Like those negative feelings that you harbor are not necessarily always true, and there's a way to get over that hump. Sometimes time and sometimes changing your perspective is the only way to do it. That was really like what that was about. Like, remember that you die. It's like, you know, life is very finite. That's what memento mori means. Like, just remember that you are going to die someday, and like, life is finite, and you know, you should be able to do whatever you want to do with your life. And also, like, dying also for me, like, letting go, like, your old self is dying, and you're shedding new skin. Your past self, or like even every day, you die and you wake up the next day, and you're a new person. There's a new opportunity to be something else.
It's like an existential way of, you know, looking at the process or the culmination of acceptance, living this thing called life. It seems like deep to make, and at the, you know, also deep to listen to. And I like that it's double-edged like that. If I recall correctly, your latest single is Silhouette, or no?
Yeah.
So like, I did hear that song, but I was like, why is this not on WWE or something like that? So I was trying to figure out, but no, it's a good song though. But I wanted to know, you know, maybe like, well, you know, what was a quick little analysis into, you know, what was the concept and, you know, significance of making that song?
Well, you know, like, there's certain points in my life where I feel confident, and I want to make like a more upbeat song. And in that stage of my life, like, I was just talking to this person that I met, you know, and things were going, like, I was excited how things were going, but also I was like, oh, this is scary, because like I haven't been like interested in talking to someone like in a relationship since in a long time, and I was like, oh wow, this is like exciting and like also scary, and at the same time, and I was like, I need to write about how I feel in that sense. And that's kind of where the lyrics came from.
Yeah.
Also at the same time talking about how I feel, like, because I always do that, but that's kind of like where it stemmed from, new road that I was about to embark on.
Yeah, in one of your Instagram posts, yeah, you said, listen to the melodies and then you'll understand me. And I really wanted to take that like as my tool to try to step into the world that you have created as an artist for people to hear and, you know, understand about you. And I'm glad that I did that, and I'm also glad that, like I said, I guess countless times before, yeah, to be able to, you know, take this chance to get to know you as an artist, as a human, as a creator, as a person, as a friend, whatever it may be. Just you, I guess, in all of the all of the sides and lens that people see you through. So
because like when I'm in like a social setting, right, when there's like multiple people around me, I'm not really the type of person to say a lot. Like, I'm more of like an observer, or like I just like to chill. Like I'm not really the one to talk the most in a social setting. So like the melody is what it is. It's my only outlet for you to peer into my life and see who I am, or the majority of my life. Like you'll have to understand my music. I am honest with myself. There's nothing to hide.
You think it has becoming an artist made you like adapt to the way of feeling understood or misunderstood in the way that you express your music, or is it just like an inevitable yet lucrative factor of your emotional journey?
I feel like being an artist definitely made me who I am, because even if I wasn't making music when I was a kid, I was always meant to be an artist who needed to express themselves. And once I fully grew into that person that I was meant to be, it like gave me a better perspective on life. It made me more. I feel like it made me a better person just overall. Like I feel like if there was a timeline where I didn't choose to take the artist route, it probably would have hindered me. I wouldn't be able to be the person I am, the friend, the brother, the son, boyfriend that I am today, if it wasn't for the musical journey that I took.
Blessings.
So, like, in a way, I am music, without my sounds, I'm nothing.
You're somebody that I'm gonna tell you that if you're not gonna tell yourself that, you're somebody. So wrap up, definitely much thanks, but if you had to say, what do you think that your fans and people out there should be in tune for that you got coming soon?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to you, obviously, and everybody that's out there listening to the music. Like, it really means the world to me that people resonate with what I'm saying, and like, in a way, like, validates my existence. I'm like, I set out, I did what I wanted to do, and it worked, and now there's a purpose behind it as well. It's like truly a blessing. So I just wanted to say thank you, first of all. And
I usually wrap up my table talks by letting the artist give a quote of the day if they have one in mind that they want to share, whether it's a personal made-up one, like off the dome, or if it's somebody that resonates with them that they wanted to share. But just closing remark.
Yeah, if I could say anything right now is that don't be afraid to be afraid. Like sometimes you're gonna feel scared and nervous about doing something, but it's about overcoming it. It's about just getting over that hump. And even if you feel scared about something, just go into it scared, because usually once you get over those things, like the best things happen. It turns to a butterfly.
Oh, wow.